Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of the Certified Genius Podcast. Live and direct from the Genius Minds Studios in Los Angeles, California. Today we're rocking the Genius Minds tee, the signature tee from Genius Minds. Because we're in the Genius Mind Studios, right? So we got to rock their gears. And if you subscribe, we'll send you a tee. We'll send you a t-shirt or a wristband or a hat. So welcome once again to another episode of the Certified Genius Podcast, where we break down week by week the 2025 NFL season. All right, so we just got done with week 7. Season is rolling by, like I say. So here we go. Here we go. The recap show. Week 7 of the 2025 NFL season. You're watching the Certified Genius Podcast, presented to you by Genius Minds. Remember, there's a genius in all of us, so find the genius within you. All right? Let's go. Let's get it on. Let's do this. Week 7. We're going to start with my Niners. On national television, Sunday Night Football, my San Francisco 49ers beat the Atlanta Falcons 20-10. The 49ers are 5-2. We're rocking and rolling so far this year. And I know a lot of my 49er fans don't like to hear this, but like I've been saying, Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. I've been saying that. Brock Purdy is not that guy. But John Lynch gave him a huge contract. So, nobody wants to be wrong, right? Nobody wants to be wrong. So John Lynch, he's in a tough spot. He's in a tough spot. He gave Brock Purdy a huge contract. But the eye test, anybody that knows football will tell you, there's a reason why Mac Jones was a first-round pick and Brock Purdy was a 7th-round pick. Okay? Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. And a lot of my 49ers fans, they're so locked in on Brock, they just can't see it. They are blinded. They are blinded by Brock Purdy. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Last year was excuse after excuse for Brock Purdy. We had a 6-11 record. And we lost a lot of close games because Brock Purdy either threw an interception or fumbled the ball. Okay? This year, we're winning the close games. Why? Because Mac Jones is a better quarterback. Also, Christian McCaffrey is looking like Christian McCaffrey. And our defense is much better this year than it was last year. But just from the quarterback position, Mac Jones, keep doing your thing. So yes, my Niners won 20-10 over the Falcons on Sunday. We move on. Enough about my Niners. We already know what it is. We had the Giants and Broncos. I was watching that game. I thought the Giants had that game won. And Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, they put on a performance that I've never seen in my life. I don't know how they pulled that win out, but they pulled out that win 33-32 over the New York Football Giants. That was a hell of a game. That was a hell of a game. I don't know how the Broncos won that game, but they did. I mean, as for the Giants, though, they got something with that rookie quarterback, Jackson Dart. They got something there. This kid can play. For a rookie to do that on the road, and we all know how hard it is to win on the road. And the performance that he put on against a really good Denver Broncos defense. Broncos defense is not no slouch. So for him to go in Denver on the road and put up the performance that he did, this kid, he definitely has some juice. Plays the game the right way, plays the game hard, plays the game smart. The New York Giants have their quarterback of the future. As a rookie, to do what he does, unbelievable. And it's still unbelievable how the Broncos won that game. So yes, the Broncos beat the Giants in a close one, 33-32. All right, we move on. The Dallas Cowboys. Man, Dak Prescott is balling. Whew. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Washington Commanders 44-22. The Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is balling. And he has two weapons at the wide receiver position. Just amazing. So you got to give Dak Prescott a lot of props for doing what he does. 44-22, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Washington Commanders. Then we have the Green Bay Packers going into Arizona and beating the Arizona Cardinals 27-23. Jordan Love and those boys, they keep rolling. The Packers beating the Cardinals 27-23. Then we have the Indianapolis Colts, another surprising team. The Indianapolis Colts beating the LA Chargers 38-24. I mean, they put it on them. The Indianapolis Colts coming into LA and putting it on the Chargers 38-24. I must admit, Daniel Jones, the quarterback for the Colts, I thought he was a bum when he was in New York. When he was in New York, I thought he was a bum. And now he's in Indy with the Colts, and he is balling. The Colts are 6-1, best record in the NFL. And Daniel Jones is wheeling and dealing. He also has a really good, really talented running back, Jonathan Taylor. If you all haven't watched the Colts play this year, they have a really dynamic running back. His name is Jonathan Taylor. This kid is a baller. Everybody knows I love Bijan Robinson for Atlanta, for the Atlanta Falcons. But Jonathan Taylor for the Indianapolis Colts, whew, this kid is the real deal, okay? But Daniel Jones, I apologize. I was calling you a bum when you was in New York. But you're balling out of control this year. You and the Colts have the best record in the NFL, 6-1. After coming into LA on the road in a hostile environment and putting it on the Chargers, 38-24. We move on. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Minnesota Vikings 28-22. The Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, are 5-2. And for some reason, I don't know what's going on in Philly, but even when they win, they say winning covers it all. But with the Eagles, even when they win, they're still disgruntled. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get this Eagles team. I love Jalen Hurts. He has the weapons. He has the wide receivers. His offensive line has been so far this year. But they're 5-2. And even when they win, they beat the Vikings 28-22. But there's still someone in the locker room that's disgruntled. We're not going to call any names. But it's still, when you win a game, you want to be in a joyous mood. You want to be like, yeah, you know what I mean? You want to pop your collar a little bit. You win a game. Every win should be a celebration, right? At least for that moment, until you start getting ready for the next game, right? But the Eagles, even with a win, there's still some underlying issues going on in that Philadelphia locker room. We move on. I digress. The Carolina Panthers beat the New York Jets 13-6. The Carolina Panthers are 4-3. The Jets continue to struggle. They're 0-7. Unbelievable. They are 0-7. But something about the Carolina Panthers, from being in the bottom of the cellar for the past few years and, to be 4-3 in the NFL, a win is a win is a win. So to be 4-3, the QB there, Bryce Young, there seems to be some momentum going on there. So the Carolina Panthers look like they're on the right track. Beat the Jets in New York 13-6. We move on. The Cleveland Browns beat the Miami Dolphins 31-6. And for anyone that have watched any of my episodes so far, y'all know I'm not a big fan of the Miami Dolphins. Number one, their quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, whatever his last name is. He's not that guy. Same thing I've been saying about Brock Purdy. The eye test tells me, for someone that has studied quarterback play, from my days with Joe Montana, Steve Young, from watching Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, you can tell good quarterback play, competent quarterback play. You could tell a quarterback that's going to take you to the promised land. And Tua Tagovailoa is not that guy. He's just not. So Miami, you have the quarterback situation wrong. You got to fix that. If you're looking to hire a GM, I'm Coach G. I'm available. Also, your head coaching position. Mike McDaniels, he's better suited to be a coordinator. He's better suited to be an offensive coordinator than to be a head coach. And I think that's where a lot of general managers in all sports, not just in football, I think a lot of general managers, a lot of owners don't understand that concept. They figure they could, a team has a good year, they're like, let's go get the offensive coordinator because his team put up a lot of points last year. And that's a slippery slope because a lot of times, in the case of Mike McDaniels and a lot of other coaches, being the head coach, and I know this from experience. As a basketball coach, I've been a head coach, and I've also been an assistant coach for a lot of my years of coaching. And I know how much it takes out of an individual to be a head coach. Because being a head coach, you're just not dealing with the on-court stuff or the on-field stuff. You're dealing with personalities. You're dealing with parents. You're dealing with fans. You're dealing with staff. You're dealing with media. You're dealing with so much. You have to, it's such a, yeah. So the head coaches, the good head coaches in any sport, I give them so much props because I know what they go through. I know how hard it is to be a head coach. And for me, personally, I know I'm better suited as an assistant so I can focus on the offense. Okay? I can focus on calling the plays instead of having to have my attention here, there, and everywhere when you're a head coach. So Miami, you have the quarterback situation wrong and you have the head coaching situation wrong. You got to get that fixed. You got to get the right head coach because Mike McDaniels is better suited as an offensive coordinator, not a head coach. And you got to get the quarterback situation right because Tua is not that guy. So yes, the Cleveland Browns beat the Miami Dolphins 31-6. Another team that's turning things around is the Chicago Bears. Chicago beat the New Orleans Saints 26-14. The Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams. You better thank God every day that you have Ben Johnson on your squad, the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Really smart guy, really smart, really innovative type of coach. And Ben Johnson was an assistant coach last year. He was the offensive coordinator last year with the Detroit Lions. Now he's made the transition to head coach with Chicago, and it's been a smooth transition for him. And you see the Bears now 4-2. They're turning things around after beating the New Orleans Saints 26-14. Then we have the New England Patriots. Talking about head coach Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, really good head coach. Went back to Tennessee where he got fired from. Mike was the head coach at Tennessee. They got rid of him. for whatever reason. Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots are 5-2 after beating the Tennessee Titans 31-13. And one of the good things about New England is they got the quarterback situation right. So unlike Miami, who have the head coach wrong and the quarterback wrong, the New England Patriots are on the right track. They have the right head coach, Mike Vrabel, and they have a really good quarterback, Drake May. And that's where it starts. That's where it starts. You get your head coach right, you get your quarterback right, everything else falls into place. And I don't understand how these owners and general managers can figure this out year in and year out. I mean, you all are billionaires and multimillionaires, so you all are smart people, right? You don't get to that level of success, without being a genius, without having a genius mind, right? That's what genius minds is all about, right? And I don't understand how a lot of these owners and general managers just can't seem to get it right. I mean, y'all are bright people. Y'all are smart people. How can y'all not get this right when your team is struggling year in and year out? Not even close to making the playoffs. As a sports fan, it's frustrating. You got to get the head coach and the quarterback situation right. You get that right, everything else falls into place. You get a head coach, you get your quarterback, you start working, developing the guys in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. Everything else falls into place. But you got to get the head coach and the quarterback right. So any owner out there, you want to hire a general manager? I'm available. I'm just putting it out there. Putting it out in the universe. So the New England Patriots on the right track. They are 5-2 after beating the Tennessee Titans 31-13. Then we have the Kansas City Chiefs beating up on the Raiders 31-0. Now, I live in California. I have a lot of friends that are Raiders fans. And they brought in a new head coach, Pete Carroll, which I thought is a competent head coach. He did really well in Seattle, right? But they went and got Geno Smith. And, since my Niners are in the NFC West, we've had to face Geno Smith twice a year for a few years now. So I've gotten to see a lot of Geno Smith over the past few years. And like I told one of my Raider fans out here, I don't think Geno Smith is that guy. And this was before the season started. I like Pete Carroll as the head coach, but I don't think Geno Smith is that guy. And my friend was like, well, he's better than what we had last year. I'm like, okay, if you want to put it that way, but two wrongs don't make a right. So yeah, the Raiders are struggling once again. The Kansas City Chiefs put it on them 31-0. That was a game that was just unwatchable. I have the NFL package, so I'm skipping through games, trying to find one that's, competent enough for me to watch for me to invest my time in watching, right? And I scrolled through, I paused on that game and I was like, it's not even worth watching. So we keep it moving. Then we have the Los Angeles Rams. That was an early game across the pond in London. The Los Angeles Rams beating up on the Jacksonville Jaguars, 35-7. The LA Rams put it on them, 35-7. And it goes back to my head coach quarterback scenario. You get that right, you're on the right path. Sean McVay, one of the best head coaches in the entire NFL. And Matthew Stafford, one of the best quarterbacks. Even though he's up there in age, he's one of the best quarterbacks, one of the smartest quarterbacks in the entire NFL. But on the other hand, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know some Jaguars fans don't want to hear this. You got the right coach. I'll give you that. But Trevor Lawrence, you all ready for this? Jacksonville fans, you all ready for this? Trevor Lawrence is not that guy. I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear it, but Trevor Lawrence is not that guy. And I'm going to leave it there. So the LA Rams beating up on the Jaguars, 35-7. Then we have the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 33-31. 33-31. A very thrilling game. I enjoyed watching that game. But what I was really surprised, well, not surprised, but, well, I guess, yes, surprised, was the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. You know, I look at, Mike Tomlin as a hard-nosed coach. So I expect the Steelers defense to just be gritty, nasty, just, relentless. And I'm watching that game, and I'm watching Joe Flacco for the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, just run up and down the field with no resistance from the Steelers defense. So I was very surprised and very disappointed by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense in that game, because I thought Aaron Rodgers played really well enough to win that game. But the Steelers defense, oh my goodness. I mean, Joe Flacco is looking, I'm watching the game, and he's only looking for one receiver in Jamar Chase. I think Jamar had 16 catches in that game for over 100 yards. And T. Higgins. But predominantly, he's looking for Jamar Chase all day long, on every snap. And I'm sitting there watching again. I'm saying to myself, is Pittsburgh defensive coordinator, is he clueless Does he have a brain in his head? Joe Flacco is only looking for one, maybe two receivers. But he's really only looking for one. He's only looking for Ja'Marr Chase. He'll give T. Higgins a little pass here and there. But for the most part, all night long, Joe Flacco is looking for one receiver. Ja'Marr Chase. And I'm saying to myself, whoever the defensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers is, whoever he is, he should be out of a job. Because by the second quarter of that game, anybody with a brain in their head could tell you, oh, Joe Flacco is only looking for one person. Therefore, if you have a brain in your head, you call a timeout, or whenever there's a stop and play, and you devise a scheme to force Joe Flacco to pass the ball somewhere else. And it's just, man. But that was a thrilling game, which the Bengals won 33-31. And then, to end week 7 of the 2025 NFL season, once again, this is the Certified Genius Podcast, brought to you by Genius Minds. Straight out of the Genius Mind Studios in Los Angeles, California. This is the recap of Week 7. And we're down to the last two games, which was Monday Night Football. And the first game, we had the Detroit Lions beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-9. The Detroit Lions beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-9. I was really impressed with Detroit's defense in that game. They really baffled Baker Mayfield. And Baker has been playing really well. He's been playing really well. But Detroit's defense really stifled him in that game. The Detroit Lions are 5-2. As well as the Buccaneers. They're both 5-2. Detroit won that game 24-9. And then the last game, we had the Seattle Seahawks beating the Houston Texans 27-19. The Seattle Seahawks are rolling 27-19. And in that game, Seattle's defense once again really bothered C.J. Stroud for the Houston Texans. And Seattle, with Sam Darnold, he's another quarterback that's playing really well. Got to give him props for turning his career around. Last year in Minnesota, and now this year in Seattle. He's proven it's not a fluke. He's a really good quarterback. And he has his team at 5-2 after beating the Houston Texans 27-19. And with Houston, I'm really iffy on C.J. Stroud now. I'm really iffy on him. He had a hell of a rookie year. But he's starting to digress. Like he's just not seeing the field. He's just not reading defenses the right way. So I'm really iffy on C.J. Stroud. Now my 49ers got to go in there in Houston and play them this coming Sunday. So let's see what happens. So the Seattle Seahawks beating the Houston Texans 27-19. And there you have it. The recap of Week 7 of the 2025 NFL football season. And we're rolling along, and I love it. I love it. Welcome once again to the Certified Genius Podcast. Presented to you by Genius Minds, straight out of the Genius Minds studios in Los Angeles, California. We have Genius Minds t-shirts. We have Certified Genius t-shirts. We have the hats. We have wristbands. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Certified Genius Podcast. We'll send you some free gears. All right? Just to show our appreciation. We move along. The next segment is called Who You Got? Who You Got? And this is where we make our predictions for Week 8. Week 8 of the 2025 NFL season. Y'all ready? Who you got? Here we go. We're going to start with my 49ers, like I say. Right? That's my team. I ride or die with them. So we always start with my Niners. All right? And this Sunday, we're going to be in Houston, taking on the 2-4 Houston Texans. Now, like I said earlier, I'm really iffy on C.J. Stroud. He's just not reading the defenses properly. He's just not seeing the field properly. A lot of inaccurate passes. A lot of unnecessary sacks. And I'm hoping my Niners defense can rattle him even more this coming Sunday. But he's going to be at home. You know, at home, you play a little better at home. You're a little bit more in your comfort zone. So, we're going to be in Houston this Sunday. It's an early game. 49ers versus the Texans. Who you got? I got my Niners. I got my Niners in that game. All right? Then we have on Thursday Night Football, this coming Thursday, we have the Minnesota Vikings coming to LA to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. I got the Chargers winning that game. Who you got? Who you got? I got the Chargers winning that game. Then we have the Chicago Bears going to Baltimore to play the 1-5 Baltimore Ravens. That's a tough one. Because I'm not sure if Lamar is playing. If Lamar is playing, I'm going to take the Ravens to win that game. And based on the reports, it sounds like Lamar is playing because he practiced this week. He was on the practice field, so I'm guessing he's playing. So I'm going to take the Ravens in that game. I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to say that their pride helps them win this game this coming Sunday. The Ravens are 1-5. I didn't see that coming before the year started. The Ravens are 1-5. Now, I know Lamar has been out for a few games, so he was injured, but I got the Ravens winning that game at home against the Chicago Bears. Who you got? Then we have the Buffalo Bills going to Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. Now, I know I said earlier the Panthers are on the up and up. They're 4-3. But I'm going to take the Bills in this game. I'm going to take the Bills in this game. I'm going to take Josh Allen putting on his Superman cape and willing his team to a win. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills in that game. Who you got? Then we have the Cleveland Browns going to New England to take on Drake May and the New England Patriots in New England. I'm going to take the Patriots to win that game. I'm going to take the Patriots to win that game. Then we have the Miami Dolphins taking on the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons to protect the house. And look out for Bijan Robinson having a big game this coming Sunday. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons to win that game against the Miami Dolphins. Who you got? Then we have the New York Giants going to Philly to take on the Super Bowl defending champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, in Philly. And as much as I love the rookie quarterback in New York, Jackson Dart, he's going into a really hostile environment in Philly. So I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to win that game. I got the Eagles. Who you got? Moving on, we have the New York Jets, the winless 0-7 New York Jets going to Cincy to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. I got the Bengals and Joe Flacco winning that game. Then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to New Orleans, taking on the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. I got the Buccaneers winning that game on the road. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then we have the Dallas Cowboys going to Denver to take on the Broncos. Dak Prescott has been balling out of control. But I'm going to take the home team, the Denver Broncos, to win that game. Who you got? We move on. We have the Tennessee Titans going to Indy to take on the best team in the NFL. The Tennessee Titans taking on the Indianapolis Colts in Indy. I got the Colts winning that game. Hands down. I got the Colts. Who you got? Then, the game of the week, Sunday Night Football. We got the Green Bay Packers going to Pittsburgh, taking on Aaron Rodgers. They say it's supposed to be the Aaron Rodgers revenge game because of how things ended when he was in Green Bay. He felt that they kicked him out of there prematurely. We got the Packers taking on the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Who you got? That's a tough one. But after watching Pittsburgh Steelers defense last week, I'm going to have to go with the Packers winning that game. I'm going to take the Packers going on the road in Pittsburgh. I got the Packers winning that game. Who you got? And then the last game, Monday Night Football. The last game of Week 8 of the 2025 NFL season. We got the Washington Commanders going to Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got? I got the Chiefs winning that game. Patrick Mahomes, my homeboy. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. I got them winning that game. Who you got? And there you have it, my predictions for Week 8 of the 2025 NFL season. Once again, this is the Certified Genius Podcast, presented to you by Genius Minds, straight out of the Genius Minds studios in Los Angeles, California. And remember, there's a genius in all of us. So find the genius within you. All right? So there you have it. We did the recap and we made our predictions. Recap of Week 7 and our predictions for Week 8. And that's it for the NFL right now. We move on to the NBA, the association. The season has just started. This is the first week of the season. And I'm going to tell you, as a Lakers fan, I'm not a happy camper. It was the Luka show. Luka Doncic putting up a lot of points, but this roster is so flawed. This Lakers roster is so flawed. Now LeBron is out with an injury. Austin Reeves, who is the great white hope for the Los Angeles Lakers, is not that guy. Yes, he put up some points, but just too soft, just too small. JJ Redick loved playing small ball. He has Gabe Vincent in there trying to guard Jimmy Butler. I mean, it's just a sad, sad situation in Lakerland. And then DeAndre Ayton, who was our big free agent signing this past summer, is just not a dog. He's just not a dog. He's a big guy, but he's not a dog. And when you're playing as the center position, or any position, you need dogs on your team. That's how you win games. You need dogs on your team. I don't care what sport it is. You need dogs on your team. And the Lakers have puppy dogs. They're all puppy dogs. And Luka, he can score. I mean, he makes scoring look so easy. He makes scoring look so easy. And it's not easy to score in the NBA because you're playing against the best of the best. But Luka Doncic, he makes scoring look so easy. But it's a team game, right? He can't play every minute of every game. And he's not going to score all the points. On top of it, you got to play defense. And when one person is doing all the scoring, sometimes it's hard for him to defend on the other end of the court. And JJ Redick, he loves to play small ball. Small ball has never won anything in the NBA. And JJ loves playing small ball. And that will be the demise of this Lakers organization. It's just sad to watch. It's going to be a long season in Lakerland. I also watched the Houston Rockets taking on the OKC Thunder, the defending champions. And boy, OKC, I mean, they are such a well-rounded team. Um, the Rockets have Kevin Durant, and I know it's only one game, but KD, you got to do better. You got to do better. You had 3 huge mistakes in that game that really cost your team the game. Not only missing the free throw at the end of regulation, but to foul Shea in a situation where you didn't need to foul. You're taller than him with longer arms. You just put your hands straight up and you cost your team the game. KD, you got to do better. But it's only the first game, I understand. So I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get too topsy-turvy. But yeah, the NBA season is here. So I'm in sports heaven right now. I got the NFL, I got the NBA, and the World Series is about to start this coming weekend. We got the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Who you got? Well, I live in LA, so I'm rocking with the Dodgers to win it all, to repeat as World Series champions. But it's not going to be easy. Toronto is a really good team. They put the ball in play. They pitch well. They play with effort. They play with intensity. That Toronto team is for real. So yeah, I'm in sports heaven right now. I got football, both NFL and college. And we haven't even spoken about college football yet. But we're going to get into it as the season goes along. We got football. We got the NBA. We got baseball, the World Series. What more can I say? I'm in sports heaven, and I'm loving it. So there you have it. Another episode of the Certified Genius podcast. To all my sports fans all over the world, we appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Certified Genius podcast. All my subscribers, you get new gears, whether it's a Genius Minds t-shirt or a Certified Genius t-shirt or a hat or a wristband. We're going to hook you up. All right? So thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Straight out of the Genius Mind Studios. And remember, there's a genius in all of us. So find the genius within you. Until next time, stay safe and stay blessed. Peace and love.